We are currently seeing chaos unfold in the Wisconsin Supreme Court. What is up, people of the internet? It is me, Real American, back again with a new video. Today, it is time that we talk about the Wisconsin Supreme Court. Because everyone, if it wasn't for the Trump indictment baloney and the Hunter Biden stuff, this should be the biggest story in the entire country. Because in a matter of 3 days, the new liberal majority in the Wisconsin Supreme Court has, let's just say, broken much precedent, has completely walked over the state constitution, and has already pissed off the conservative minority just in 2 or 3 days. And they're already getting some very bad press. Now, before we continue with today's video, I hope you enjoy these type of videos. If you do, smash the like button down below, subscribe, share with your friends, hit that little bell, follow the social media accounts in the description down below, and of course, join the channel today. Guys, just for $1 a month, you can join Real American. This is the best way to support the daily content that we all know and love. So I hope and recommend you join the channel today. Let me be 100% clear. Before I even start, it doesn't matter if you're a Democrat, Republican, Independent, whatever. And if the same thing happened with a conservative majority, I would be calling it out. But it doesn't. It hasn't happened. So what am I talking about? Well, look at this. Wisconsin Supreme Court Justice Annette Ziegler accused the court's liberal members of meeting a secret, illegitimate meeting to gut her authority today, calling them 4 rogue members of the court. The rogue justices' attempt to go outside of the recognized procedure is an imposition of will and a raw exercise of overreaching power. Any such attempt to action is illegitimate and unenforceable, Ziegler wrote. You heard that right. The new majority, instead of meeting with the entire court and, discussing some things, they just met as a group of 4. And they went out and they essentially gutted the Chief Justice's power, or I believe one of the Justice's powers of the Supreme Court. Conservative Rebecca Bradley then weighed in on Twitter, writing, Ann Bradley and her cabal of extreme leftists, Rebecca Dallett, Jill Karofsky, and Janet Protasewicz, met in secret without their colleagues to usurp power the people gave the Chief Justice. They have no respect for the people they are supposed to serve or for the Constitution. What am I supposed to say? This is their 3rd day in the majority, and they're already gutting the powers of the Chief Justice, who is a conservative, mind you. Because I believe they vote on it at the beginning of the term, and technically it's not the term, but either way, it doesn't matter. You don't just do this to the Chief Justice. She added, behind closed doors, 4 rogue justices violated court traditions and procedures to rewrite the rules justices followed for decades. When Rebecca Dallett called the rule of law garbage, she meant it. Nothing will stand in the way of their blatant power grab designed to advance their political agenda. They sully the institution of the judiciary. Ziegler also released a pages-long document that contains the changes the liberal justices made in the Supreme Court rules today. It shows that they went through the rules and removed the Chief Justice from many passages where she had authority, replacing the position instead with a new Supreme Court Administrative Committee they created. 2 of the 3 committee's members will be chosen by the liberal majority, meaning the left-wing justices can stack the committee to their favor. This is real! This just happened today. They usurp power of the Chief Justice, which, mind you, it's in the state constitution, and it's been precedent for decades. The Chief Justice in the Wisconsin Supreme Court has some powers when it comes to scheduling and other things like that. They just said, nope, we're crossing all this out. In one example, the liberal justices gutted the Chief Justice's authority involving juvenile petitions to waive parental consent prior to getting an abortion. The stunning power grab comes as the court's liberal majority barreled out of the gates with an extremely dysfunctional start during its first week, accused of violating the law and state constitution by secretly deliberating to fire state courts director Randy Kushins, a conservative, and then by appointing Milwaukee County Judge Audrey Skuritsky to Kushins' position on an intern basis, even though state laws says judges can't hold non-judicial posts during their terms. The conservative justices accused the liberals of abuse of power, reckless conduct, and engaging in a political purge, and the chair of the Senate Judiciary Committee said they violated the law, constitution, and their oaths. So even the state Senate is saying, wait a minute here. You can't just in a matter of a day fire multiple people just because they're conservative and stack it with liberal judges when they're legally not allowed to. I am so glad the three conservatives are saying no. You can't just do this. I'm glad somebody's mentioning it. Somebody is saying, wait a minute here. You're telling me you fired a guy just because he was conservative? He was there for many years now. You just fired him because he was a conservative and you wanted to stack it with another liberal? However, today they doubled down. On August 4th, 2023, according to Ziegler, the liberals changed the Supreme Court rule that says the director of state courts shall be the chief non-judicial officer of the court system in the state. The director should be hired by and serve at the pleasure of the Supreme Court, under the direction of the Chief Justice. They crossed out the word Chief Justice and replaced it with Supreme Court Administrative Committee. You can't make this up. I mean, they're flat out just drawing new laws in the book. This isn't just, interpreting a law differently. That's one thing. They're just flat out creating new laws at, their whim. They also stripped the Chief Justice of her power to make certain appointments, such as to the Planning and Policy Advisory Committee, giving that power to the Supreme Court Administrative Committee that will presumably be stacked with liberals. There shall be a Supreme Court Administrative Committee comprised of the Chief Justice and 2 justices selected by a majority of the Supreme Court. The changes say liberals hold the majority on the court. They also gutted the Chief Justice's authority over scheduling of original actions to the court, meaning lawsuits where litigants are seeking the Supreme Court to take up action without going through lower courts first. The liberal justices also included a provision that members of the court can have private discussions about pending rule petitions among themselves or with others. Holy crap! And by the way, this isn't an exaggeration. You can read all of it here on this PDF. Go look it up. This is freaking nuts. And I'm not one of those people that say, but what if it was the other way around? Because that's stupid. Nobody would be this dumb to say, oh, the Chief Justice doesn't have powers anymore. They're gutting the powers of the Chief Justice. And in fact, most other people, anybody with a conservative bone, they just got gutted. It didn't go through the legislator. It didn't go through anything. They just said, we feel like it. The new changes also give this newly created Supreme Court Administrative Committee the authority to set the schedule for oral arguments, decision conferences, rules hearings, and administrative conferences, instead of the Chief Justice. The Liberals were accused of violating the rule giving the Chief Justice this authority when they secretly deliberated to fire Kucinich, according to previous press releases from Ziegler and the state Senate's Judiciary Committee chair. You can keep reading this. I recommend everybody reads every single change these bozos did. Because I think this is an impeachable offense. I don't like to use the word, impeachment much. But this is a time where the Wisconsin Republicans, they got a supermajority in the state Senate. Huge majority in the state assembly. They can impeach them. Every single one of them. Apparently, this was led by Judge DeLate. I think DeLate, I'm saying her name correctly. Again, I'm still pretty bad with names and all, but from everything I'm seeing, they just said, nah, we're just going to change the rules completely. And these aren't like some minor tweaks to, one thing or another. They're gutting the rules because, well, they're in the majority. But it's like if Chief Justice Roberts, the Liberals took over the majority in the Supreme Court, just an example, and, he's gone. He can't do anything. That's a perfect example because that's literally what happened. The Chief Justice was thrown out, basically. And they essentially stacked every single rule. Not only that, they completely just made up rules as they wanted to. The majority can decide when to take up cases, when to hear it. Or not like that, but like when the hearings are and all of that, which is usually meant for the Chief Justice. I really do hope we have some kind of impeachment inquiry because you don't just have 4 idiots meeting in a basement probably deciding the entire state. Everything with the state courts like this. And what's going to happen with redistricting? Are they going to do the same thing? They're not going to even meet with the conservatives? Nah, they're going to meet by themselves. I am thankful the judges on the conservative minority were saying, no, they were calling this out and they were telling the public, this is what's happening. And I don't usually like when judges, go after other judges like this or justices, whatever. But it's different when they do something like this. Again, I don't like using it, but imagine for a second Republicans or conservatives did this. There's a liberal Chief Justice who can decide, when oral arguments are, hearings and all of that. But nah, they got it. And they essentially went around the state constitution. And they did it in private. They did it in a meeting of 4, not all 7. This is a disgrace on my state. And I'm hoping the Republicans in the state legislature, you have limited time to stop this crap. Open an investigation. You can't allow this. Private, closed-door meetings with the majority and that's it? You're closing out the minority? It's one thing if they met with the minority and said, look, there's been a little bit of changes here and there. That's one thing. But they clearly didn't. They rammed through rule changes without even merely mentioning the minority. Anyways, folks, thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy this video, smash the like button down below, subscribe, share with your friends, hit that little bell, follow the social media accounts in the description down below, and of course, join the channel today. Thank you so much. Godspeed to all of you.